This is Hanging with Hayes, the podcast where real life takes center stage. I'm your host, Chelsea, wife, virtual assistant, photographer, dog mom, and entrepreneur. Join me as I dive into the everyday experiences that shape our lives, relationships, and everything in between. Remember, these are my personal opinions, so take them with a grain of salt. Get ready for candid conversations and genuine insights. Welcome to Hanging with Hayes. Well, thanks for coming on my podcast.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here.
This is Alyssa. She is a TikTok friend that we just kind of fell into friendship.
Panic.
Yeah.
You met me in panic.
Yeah, I did. What I think is very funny is the fact I was following you for 6 to 8 months before this even happened. I got my account hacked on TikTok.
Worst experience
Ever.
Like the invasion of privacy.
Yeah, my personal diary was just like, sorry. Nope. And then you come into my DMs. Hey, the guy that helped me with my TikTok, you reached out to him. Long story short, found out you live 45 minutes away from me.
As we're talking to someone, a mutual friend who lives across the world, basically.
Yeah, because he lived in Trinidad. So it took my account to be hacked, your account to be hacked, for us to figure out that we were literally neighbors.
Crazy.
That was really funny, though, when you gave me your number.
You were like, wait.
I'm like, Miss Ma'am, that is the same area code I have. What are the odds of that? It was just
so
really
crazy.
weird. And I remember standing in the kitchen when you texted me, and I said, Zach, oh my God, Alyssa lives blah, blah, blah. And he's like, slow down.
You're
oh
like,
my God.
Calm down.
He's like, what do you mean? She literally lives 45 minutes from here.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that?
Which, for I feel like where we live,
That's
45
like
minutes is like up the road.
Nothing. I mean, growing up, that's what we were used to.
Right.
8 miles to drive to a gas station was normal.
Yep.
People don't understand what I'm talking about. It's
Like, what?
That's normal. Growing up, that's 100% normal. So.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about you being a stay-at-home mom and Kyler being a farmer and all of the joys of that.
All the things.
Ton of different topics, and
Yes.
I wrote them all down.
Yes.
Okay. So before we talk about any of that, let's start from the very beginning.
Beginning of time.
How did you and your husband Kyler meet?
Oh, gosh. Well. So, before I met him, I was pretty much at my, over men, done dating. Because I had, at this point, my 3-year-old daughter. So it was just her and I. And I was over it at this point. I was tired of going on dates. Oh, gosh. So we met 2017.
Okay.
And then
So
we got married in 2022.
Okay. So you're newlyweds still.
Yes. Which, of course, people love to use that against me.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we'll talk about that another time.
Oh, we will.
here.
We'll talk about that.
But, so I've always been in the dental field when I was working for the most part. And so my office manager I was in her office on a Friday. It was kind of her and I would always get together. I'm like, what are you doing this weekend? Are you going on a date? That type of thing. And I was like, I sat in her and I was like, I'm done. I'm over this. I'm wasting my time. I think it's just going to be me and Cass till get her through high school.
Yeah.
I'll worry about dating when
How old were you?
So I was, 21.
A baby.
Yeah. Thinking back, I'm like, oh my gosh. And so pretty much I was just, she could tell I was like, this girl, she's had it.
She's nuts.
And she was like, oh my gosh, I know someone that you should go on a date with. And I was like, you're telling me this now for 2 years you've been hearing this. Yeah. And she was like, you have farming background, right? And I said, yeah. And I said, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I said, I don't think I can do the farmers anymore. I've known it my whole life for the most part. And I'm like, I don't know. Because I was married previously and to a farmer.
We have PTSD from farmers.
To a farmer. And I just was like, no, I just need something different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you, I got something different. He is the best man in the whole world. I got the different, but the best part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Isn't that funny how that worked?
but when she told me this, I was like, oh my gosh. And she was like, please just go on one date with him. That's all I'm asking. I'm like, for you, I will. Sounds so terrible.
No, it doesn't.
So I then slid into his DMs because she texted his mom. His mom called his dad because they were actually, they were on the farm that day. And she was like, you tell Kyler he's going to get a message from a girl and he better answer that message. So I guess his dad walked over. I think he was underneath of a tractor or something. His dad kicked him on the boot, was like, some girl's messaging you. You better reply. Like, wow.
What a matchmaker.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
So needless to say, he said he opened the message and was like, there's no way. What
did you say?
He was like, there's no way this is real. I just was like, hey, I guess your mom's friend who I work with told me to message you.
Some convoluted,
really awkward.
That's hilarious.
And he's very much 2 words. I'm like, oh, this guy is not interested at all. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know this man's
dying.
Yeah. And he's just a man of few words.
Felt.
And what is it with him? I think that's just part of.
I think so. Because they would get along very well.
Yeah. And
He's so quiet.
And so I think we texted for a couple days, and by texting I mean I was texting and he was acknowledging it. Yeah. And finally he's like, let's, you want to go on a date, blah blah blah. And
what was your first date?
At my house, actually.
What'd you do?
He came over after I put my daughter to bed, and
You had your own house.
Okay. Yeah, I had our own place at the time, and so he came over. He actually wasn't 21 yet. Yeah, I robbed the cradle.
Hell yeah, girl.
And
What is he, 20?
So he was he 20? No, he was
19.
You know what? I take that back. I think I was 22 and he was 20.
Oh, okay.
And because there was a time period I had to buy his alcohol for him. We would go to the store. I'd be like, you gotta go, boy.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah.
I don't have a fake ID for you.
Right.
I never had one. I was too afraid.
Oh, no. No, me neither.
Shit scared me.
Yeah. I just knew the right people, or I don't. But yeah, he came over. I just was planning on a simple bonfire, have a couple beers.
And then what?
Had a lot of beers. I was so nervous. We talk about this all the time. So I was prepping the fire, and I don't normally get nervous around men, and especially at that point I was so over it. I was I don't even care, honestly. But for some reason, the moment I met him, I was like,
oh yeah,
I couldn't even act myself. A log fell off the fire and I grabbed it with my bare hands.
it didn't.
I was that nervous. I was like, oh, that was hot. And he was like, really?
it's fire.
Yeah. So every time we have a bonfire now, however many years later it's been, he's always like, don't touch the wood.
You don't make me nervous like that anymore. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this wood. No. Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt just when I met Zach. I'm like, my name is Chelsea, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
what's
even know.
wrong with me?
Well, and the best part is the night was coming to an end, and we had both drank a good amount, you know, and
Did he live away, really far away from you?
at this point, we were 30 minutes apart.
Oh, that's not bad.
So he was like, I'm going to sleep in my truck. Mm-hmm. And he was like, he's really good about not driving and drinking. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, you're going to sleep in your truck? It's like, that's really weird. I'm thinking in my mind, I'm just so used to
Creepy men.
growing themselves. I'm not saying at me, just in general. Just that's how the dates have been going. They only wanted to get together to get together. And unfortunately, single mom, you get that stereotype oh, she'll probably put out. She has a kid, which is the complete opposite.
So fucked up.
Yeah. And so here I am. I'm like, okay, instead of letting the man sleep in his truck, which is fine, I'm like,
Come in my house.
Like, come on.
Survive.
I don't even know how to explain it that night. And mind you, this was probably over like a 4-hour period.
Yeah.
Like the end of that conversation, I was like, this guy is so different than any man I have ever met in my
so
life.
weird how your nervous system knows that.
Yeah.
Like it 100% knows you can be calm.
And it's just like, I mean, everything about him, his body language, the way he talked to me, and then I think the fact that he was like, I'm going to go sleep in my truck.
Yeah, that's precious.
And like, I'll be gone before the sun's up. Like, he obviously had to get to work. But it was just like, all of a sudden, there was just like that level of safety that I was just like, whoa, that's different.
Yep.
So come on in. Literally from that moment, we've been together ever since. And obviously, lots in between.
Obviously.
But yeah, and so I always I see that, the lady that set us up every so often. And she actually jokes with me because when we got pregnant with our youngest daughter, she was like, so I'm pretty sure you're going to name her my name, right? It's like, to be honest, I should, but.
What was her name?
No, Courtney.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like,
so cute.
It's like we could, but.
That's hilarious.
I know.
You should have.
I know. Like, truthfully, probably should have, but.
How did he propose?
So he had it all set up. Had the photographer, had the whatever. He had the whole back of his truck lined up with sunflowers, like.
Oh.
And
he thought all of that himself.
No. Yes and no. He thought of the process of like, I want to do this. But he did have some help from one of my girlfriends and then the photographer.
I love that he asked your girlfriend.
Yes. But also, I'm like, even if you didn't necessarily like.
It doesn't even matter.
Right.
You asked me.
Yeah. I was supposed to be taking pictures with the girlfriend that he talked to, her daughter, me, and my oldest, and at this field, like really pretty. And so we got there, and she actually I don't know what it's called. They raise deer, so deer farm, I guess. Mm-hmm. So there was like a fenced area, and she was like, hey, do you mind like walking down that way and just closing the fence? So I walked, and as soon as I walked around the corner, he was like down the lane with his truck and I was like, and I can't cry in moments like that. I just like lose. I can't. Like even at our wedding, it's so terrible. Like moments like that, I get so like caught up in it that I can't.
Your emotions don't happen.
But the song comes on the radio, and I'm like lost it
after the fact.
I think it's just like the shock. I don't know.
It's adrenaline. I bet it's adrenaline.
But there's, oh my gosh, Cassidy. She's just bawling.
Oh, she was there?
Oh, yeah. Because she ended up walking behind me because my friends were like, go. Oh. And so she walked behind me. Oh, yeah. Kyler would have never done that without her.
Did he ask her permission?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. He's been her, like,
that's
dad
awesome.
since the moment they met.
So awesome. What was their first, like, meeting?
I waited just a little bit because, like I said, he came over after she was sleeping and stuff. Just you have to have that protection.
Yeah.
Especially at the rate I was going.
When people don't, I'm like,
no.
why?
Or
when they move in with them
very
fast,
quickly.
and then they break up and then they move to somebody else's house. No.
It's just that you just need that stability.
Yes, and that's confusing for children.
Very.
And they start to fall in love.
Oh yeah,
with these people.
100%. No, children grasp on to people like that.
I'm saying this as a person who doesn't have children, but that's I don't think so.
No.
Back to TikTok and how you and I discovered each other.
Yes.
You post on there, and I'm so proud of you for finally talking to the camera.
It took me a minute.
No.
Well, I think I just had to figure out, like, what am I really trying to use this platform for? And I always want to, of course, be authentic. I want to...
You come across very authentic.
Well, good. Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. I when I turn off the camera, I still want to keep living the life that I am talking about on camera.
Practicing what you're preaching.
Yes. And to be honest, it actually helps me hold myself more accountable.
Isn't that fucking weird? Me too.
Like, it's because, yes, a lot of the stuff does come natural, but we are also human.
Correct.
We
And
fall short.
Yep. There are times where I'll be having a conversation with Zach, and I'm like, hold on, how are you saying that?
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
It has actually helped me check myself more.
It's fucking weird.
And it's in preaching. Whoa, not preacher. Whoa.
You could say that.
Preaching. Sometimes I do feeling like that. The amount of people that be saying amen sometimes on my posts, I'm like, all right.
The daughter of God, yes.
Yes, I am. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. We out here preaching. Like, seriously, people are like, preach it, sister.
I mean,
to Instagram, definitely.
It's
just
just
so
funny how different those platforms are.
they are
Wildly
so different. So different. I was scared of Instagram.
Really?
For a while.
I'm scared of YouTube.
See, haven't dabbled in that a ton.
It's scary.
Mostly because my grandpa sits on. He watches YouTube all day, and I'm like, I'm just waiting for one of my videos to come up. And having grandpa watch me say, touch your husband, doesn't seem right to me.
You know what? How do you think you're here, girl?
Facts. And to be honest, I already know. Yep. They got a lot of kids.
Makes me think when Zach and I were getting married. Oh my God. We were talking about shit we didn't want to do.
Yeah.
We didn't do a garter toss, bouquet toss, dollar dance. We didn't feed each other cake. Like, we just didn't do a ton of stuff. I just didn't want it. He didn't want it.
Yeah.
Specifically the garter toss. And it all started from this because Zach goes, I do not want my grandma to watch me put my head under your dress. I said, sweetheart, how do you think you got here? Your grandma be freaky.
They were worse than us back in the day.
Literally.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh. No, I don't want any part of that.
No.
I'm like, so that's why we didn't do it. You didn't want to go
That's so
see us
funny.
get freaky.
That's so funny. Love that.
David told her that. She's like, well, honey, how do you think you got?
I mean, have you seen that? There's that video going around on TikTok right now. It's pretty viral. The one that, did you send it to me?
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
the couple that, like, they're talking
Yep.
and I guess it's the grandma or whatever is like basically at the arguments.
We've talked till 3 a.m. and then we have sex and then we're fine. It's like, yeah, girl.
Because I'm sorry, how many times do you afterwards you're like, that's all we needed.
Why was I upset at you?
I call it our factory reset.
Oh, I love that.
Seriously, I'm like, sometimes you just gotta do the dirty and you get a little factory reset.
Really hard.
I was wondering what that was, but
Holy shit.
yeah.
I love that factory reset. I'm going to use that.
It's like, you gotta like plug it, take it out, plug
That
it
is
back in.
the funniest thing. But so your videos, Touch Your Husband. Tell me about where that came from. I love those videos. I love them. The first time you ever posted and sent that to me, I'm like,
Small girl. She's doing
I
it.
was so proud of you. I literally put my phone down. I was like,
Actually stood up.
I was so excited because I
you.
know you were so nervous about talking.
What? Because I mean, I did a couple before that and they did okay.
Yeah.
And
I know you were really second guessing yourself.
I was.
like, just keep going.
And then of course that's at the point. I mean, like, that's really putting yourself out there.
It
of
is.
course, because
It's your opinion.
a 7-second clip of my husband jumping off a tractor. You're not
No.
gonna get hate for that, or you're not gonna get. Well, I say that. Let me tell you,
I got a lot of hate for some of those videos
it's
about sharing locations, so it's fine.
oh, gracious.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I want him to fucking know where I am, but okay.
I don't understand that actually.
It's a control thing.
It is.
People that have
To me, I feel like
problems.
to me, I feel like there's a little bit of you that's got to be hiding something.
yes. Why
I
are you
don't-
so bothered?
I mean,
by it?
we mostly used to do it for like, oh, you're in this field.
Yeah.
That's way easier for me just to track you.
100%.
How many times, hey, I'm trying to bring you your lunch. You're in the middle of something.
Yeah.
I'm just driving around.
Where am I going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's most of it. But also, it's safety.
Like anytime I go on a walk,
Yeah.
I tell Zach which direction I'm going,
Yeah.
how far I plan on going. He knows what I'm wearing. I make sure he knows what
Especially
I'm wearing.
when you're in a not heavily populated area.
Correct. And
It's
always bringing protection. He knows that I'm bringing my pistol, my pepper spray, my knife, an alarm. That alarm is loud.
oh yeah, those things are awesome.
Holy shit. It scared the shit out of the dog. I pulled it just to test it and
Yeah.
it was...
No, they do the job. Definitely.
Oh my God, we got so sidetracked.
We did. That's okay. So basically, the touch your husband. A lot of it, I mean, of course, are things that I do for my husband, and I sometimes as like you probably do when you're brainstorming content. You know, I'm thinking about my own life.
Yeah.
And
Your perspective.
and my husband, I happened to be the day that I did the recording. I remember him texting me. He was like, I just am ready for this day to be done. It's been a terrible day at work. I just literally need to come home and I just need a hug. And I just want you to just touch me, like literally, like without saying that. That's basically what he said. And I was like,
You're reading between the lines.
and so then I'm writing up what I want to say, and then I'm like, okay, I need a hook for this.
Write them up.
Well, sometimes when I say write, type, or whatever,
I was like, damn.
I just went back in olden days there. Yeah, I get out my pencil.
I talk out loud to myself when I'm like, okay, so today this would be like, something that's going on in my head. And I just literally just talk about it out loud. And I look like a crazy person.
Well, I think I do a lot of my brainstorming when I am feeding Lena.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it's me, or like, I just feel like it's in the moments of silence where I'm like, something like,
Isn't that weird? Those moments of creativity that come out of nowhere. You're like, what?
yes.
I didn't talk about that before.
Yeah, like a lot of my like 2 a.m. feedings when I'm up, I'm like sitting there like as I'm rocking her, like typing my thoughts out. So that's kind of, it's just not really writing.
I mean, it is.
It is. That's
Hashing
our
it out.
nowadays
Yeah.
version of writing. But I was just like, okay, I think I can make this a series, because that was
100%.
also something that I feel, and this is kind of for anyone aspiring to be a content creator, I feel like you need something that is going to get people to come back.
Yes.
That's kind of like the lunchbox note thing, like different things like that. And
Or I'm married to a blue collar man.
exactly.
People know I'm going to talk about that.
Right. And that's why I was like, I need to grab attention.
Yep.
So I'm like, why not just touch your husband?
And it's a perfect hook.
Because obviously people are like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep.
And
What do you mean?
And of course, the men love it.
Yep.
Most of the women hate it.
Yep, they do.
But then I get the few select that.
Which is really unfortunate.
Yep.
It really blows my mind.
I think the comment I got, the most recent one that was kind of a hate comment. So you're telling me I have to cook, I have to clean, I have to take the kids to school, I have to make the doctor appointments, I have to do this and touch my husband? I'm like, actually, you should probably lead with the one you said last.
Yeah. Start with that.
Because at least in my house, it's God, marriage, children.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah,
Oh,
like
man,
the fact that
Oh
we're
my God. When
complaining about that.
When I said something like that, I said, your spouse should come before your children. Do you know how many people lost their shit on me?
Oh, people go crazy over that.
Why would your children, they're not going to be there without your spouse. Your children are going to leave.
And at the end of
was
the day,
there?
you're going to look at each other and be like,
Who are you?
who are you?
They're going to resent you too because you didn't put them first.
And the thing is the more you're only focusing on your children, obviously, then you're less focused on your marriage. So that's going to start to slowly deteriorate.
Correct.
And then you are going to have to then you're going to be dealing with marriage problems that spill over into problems with your children.
Yep.
And then before you know it, oh, mom and dad are divorced. Now
Correct.
children have 2 separate homes. And it's like,
What are you trying to do?
yeah.
Wouldn't you want a well-oiled machine? Mm-hmm. I mean, I would.
Yep.
But
And
that's why we waited 12 years before we even talked about having kids.
Yep.
I wanted to be a well-oiled machine.
And I commend you for that
Thank you.
because there are circumstances and like, for example, for myself, I had my oldest daughter out of wedlock, father's not involved.
Yep.
And it's like, obviously things happen, but if people would take the time and really
Choose their partner wisely.
choose their partner wisely, it would be,
The world would be such a different place if people fucking pumped the brakes a little bit
yeah.
and just thought, okay, how is he treating his mother?
Oh my gosh.
How is he treating the waitress?
Yep.
How is he acting when he gets angry? Is
Actually go through life events with this person.
go through some hard shit.
Go through pain. How
Go through a funeral.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Go
Losing
through
someone.
losing somebody in their family. It doesn't even have to be anybody. It could
No.
be an aunt that you're not close to. You're still going to grieve. Go through some hard shit.
Yep.
Before you have a child.
Yeah.
That's a forever thing.
My favorite's when people think, let's have a child because this is going to make everything better.
Rings and children make everything better. Didn't you know that?
Yeah. It just makes it all go away for about 2 days.
Does it though? Because the baby comes and then you're
Yes.
fucking tired.
Yeah, let me tell you. I think, the excitement of it all kind of like makes
Dwindles.
it better for a hot second, and then reality comes to surface.
You have a reality check. But
Yep.
are you going to have those conversations about having children before you have children? Probably not.
No.
Like, who's going to, are you both going to wake up in the middle of the night?
And that kind of steers us to where we are at in life now. We always knew before we got married, the goal was for me to be a stay-at-home mom. And actually, with Kyler was, of course, farming full-time when we first met and everything. And then he's still farming, but he's also working for the county. And part of that change was because he knew, and we knew, we had these conversations. When we have another child, I want to be
planned appropriately.
Yes. And also him being the amazing man he is, he knew he was going to make some sacrifices, and I knew I was going to make some sacrifices. And
Aren't you so oppressed?
amazing. Yes. Amazing.
We're so oppressed by everything.
Right. The worst.
Staying at home and being a mom. Oh my God, what a horrible life to live.
I love the ones that are the TikToks right now that are like how much propaganda had to be put out to make, and it's like a mom like rocking her baby or like cooking dinner, like make this.
Yeah, that's
As-
insane. That is
This is actually how it all started.
Correct.
How it's supposed to be. Women were never meant to work outside of the home.
No.
Like, and you can just go back to statistics, like divorce rates were like just, there's just so much that there's a reason why there's that traditional
Correct.
family.
Granted, now it's like a modern traditional.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
great. Like if you can make money, hell yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And I have girlfriends that are boss bitches.
Hell yeah, bitch.
And-
Do it.
And then I have girlfriends that don't even want to have children, and that's totally fine too. And I have friends that have a million kids, and I have friends that have kids with, and they still work, and it's
Yeah.
like it's very much.
What
And I feel
works
like that's
for you.
and I think
too.
that's where we sometimes get confused. We're not pushing our content onto people like this is the only way.
Oh my God, that drives me insane.
Like, I'm speaking to the people that can relate or that
Right.
maybe are trying to understand this lifestyle or I'm not out here being like I did one recently on, and I know you talked about this on your last podcast about finances, and like what works for us. Yeah, that might not work
super fucking weird for somebody else. Yeah.
And basically, my whole moral of it was financial transparency.
Yes.
I don't care if Josh, if you both have checking accounts, saving account, he doesn't have access to that. It's the matter of, oh, okay, well, I know we're communicating about this. We understand what's going on. Sally doesn't have a secret account when Joe, it's transparency.
Hey, I opened up another account today, which I literally did that this morning. So let's say that. So I actually have to tell Zach. By the way, but it's back to what you said about people relating to you. I don't know if I told you about this. There was this chick on Instagram. She got pissed at me. She was pissed.
Like just in the comments, DM'd you all the
oh my God. She commented on, so the podcast episode I did with Ike. Mm-hmm. It was me talking about not nagging at your husband, which, I preach about that a lot.
Yeah.
There's that word, preach. It's hard.
I know. But like also what else do we call it?
I don't know. Talking. Yapping. I don't know. Yapping. That's a good word.
Yep.
But she commented that paragraph. Oh,
she took time.
You literally don't have children. You don't know anything. She was so angry at me. And then went on my whole marriage is fun video where I'm just saying like, I love being married.
Yeah.
I fucking do. And she said, well, statistically, people get married to have children. You're literally making it sound like it's pumpkins and rainbows all the time. And that's not the reality. And my husband doesn't help because I'm postpartum. And I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yep. There we go.
Got it. Okay.
All you needed to do was say that.
Yeah. And then she said that I belittle mothers. I talk down to anybody that has children.
Oh.
And I'm also very degrading to mothers because I do not speak highly of mothers. When the fuck has that ever been a thing?
I was gonna say I've never came across that video.
No.
I know. I don't think I would be sitting here.
Can you please highlight that video? I'd like to see it.
Yeah, that's weird.
I think very highly of mothers. I'm just speaking on my life, my perspective. Not everything I'm posting has to be related to you.
Exactly. And that's why there's how many millions of content creators
that are mothers.
Find one, I guess, that better resonates with you.
Yep.
That's why you scroll.
Yeah. There's a I don't like this button.
Ooh.
There's a not interested button.
Oh, yeah.
Leave me alone. I'm really sorry that you're going through it, but maybe you should have a conversation with your husband instead of belittling a stranger
you on the internet.
Yeah. On the internet.
And see, and that's also maybe where she actually would have taken, made use of one of your videos.
Exactly what Ike said. He said, maybe you should watch some of Chelsea's content.
Because that all stems back to communication, having that relationship with your husband, or maybe having that conversation before you had a baby and now you're postpartum dealing with your husband who's not doing
She also says she has many children. I said, well, then stop having them.
That too, because it doesn't sound like that. It doesn't sound like it's delightful.
No.
Or you're having them for the right reasons.
No.
Because I also have children, because it's having that with my husband.
Yes.
And if anything, like at least in my experience, and I do know people have had terrible postpartum experiences, even with the most amazing husband.
100%.
But like for me, that has brought me and my husband even closer. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
my husband's not gonna, and I know him. He would never leave me out to dry. Oh, sorry, you had that kid. You can fucking take care of it. I'm like,
no.
Choose your partners wisely.
Exactly.
And I understand time changes people. I get. Change is inevitable.
Well, I think you even said on your last podcast how you and Zach have been together for, what you said, 12 years. Mm-hmm. You're like, but it almost and through that time you've changed from when you first met to now. But
absolutely.
But that's also, if you aren't changing, then you're not growing.
You're not.
It doesn't mean you're a completely different person.
No.
But I will say, thank God I have changed.
Oh my God, me too.
Since I met Kyler, because
Looking back on myself,
I am shocked to this day.
Me too.
That I have this ring on my finger and that I'm here talking to you about touching my husband. Because Lord,
that says some stupid shit.
oh my gosh. Needed to touch grass. That's what I needed to do.
I'm overstimulated. I need to touch grass.
I needed to touch grass. Oh my gosh.
I just don't. There are comments that just.
But that's also like with changing and stuff. Yeah, probably ask me 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I still definitely believed in my core everything that I say, and I still would have back then. But
you're mature now.
Yeah,
your frontal lobe.
I was gonna say this area right here has come in
this area
way better.
My hair is real thick.
Yeah.
So, dealing with negative comments, what's your favorite thing to do? Just block them? Because that's what I do.
It depends. Some are like instantly blocked because I'm like, there's no reasoning with this.
No, there's not.
Some
like
I will. I will say I never try to comment back in matching their energy. I always try to at least. I mean, yes, there's sometimes a little sprinkled sass, but for the most part, I try to just almost like diffuse the situation with my answer. And if they typically reply back, I just end it there.
Yeah.
But
you're still in control of the situation.
Yes. I think it's funny, the comments that I actually don't like are the ones that are meant to be nice,
but they're not.
They're like, you're so perfect. I wish my wife was like you. I wish I could be married to you.
Those bother me.
Instantly I'm like, ooh, like
it makes me feel so odd.
Yes, and that's actually why I put up the video that was like a little bit more about me, that where I stated I was a teen mom. Obviously I've been pregnant. I was a teen mom.
Twice.
Let me start that over. I was a teen.
Obviously I've been pregnant.
I was a teen mom. I've been married and divorced. I've dealt with different things in my life that I feel like allows me to speak on certain things. But by no means am I saying
I'm not talking about motherhood.
Yeah, but it's just like by no means though am I saying this as in like, yeah, I'm
an angel.
Right.
Oh my God.
And it also makes me feel like, oh my gosh, I hope none of their wives see them comment like, please be my wife. And I'm like, oh gosh. Like, and then that makes me almost think like, am I doing the right thing by saying these things?
But it's also their perception. It is not your responsibility for how someone perceives you.
Absolutely.
I had it happen.
Oh yeah.
I've
seen it.
Commented. The wife commented underneath and said, funny to see you here. Then messaged me.
Because it's your fault.
Because I'm like, oh fuck. I'm sitting there like, oh no. As soon as her name popped up, I was like, oh no. Yep. And I waited to open it a little bit because I'm like, I waited like an hour. And she said, my husband has commented this 5 or 6 times on your videos, and I think that's insane. And I said, it is not my fault. Your husband is commenting those things on my videos.
It's no way your fault.
I'm very sorry, but y'all need to have a conversation because obviously there's some turmoil. Termites.
There's something.
There's termites in that marriage. In a way at your marriage. And she was pissed at me.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, it is not my fault y'all are having these problems.
No, and for you to feel the need to message me as in you, it says more about
your situation.
What's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is unbelievably inappropriate for your husband to say that. But it's also inappropriate for you to act the way that you did.
Exactly.
Publicly.
Right. It's kind of, what is that saying? Correct? No, wait. Agree in public, back up in public, talk about in private, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but that's true.
Yeah.
You don't have conversations like that in public.
No,
You're disgracing your marriage in public.
exactly.
Because I can't tell you how many people liked his comment
Oh, I'm sure so many.
and how many people
And
commented under her.
oh yeah, and then think about not only now is, I mean, the amount of 'cause typically, yeah, when you comment or like if you know someone that comments,
It's at the
that
top.
video then will usually pop up on your For You page. It's not hard to see that stuff. So then it's
No.
like, so that poor wife
Yep.
now, who in their circle saw the husband's comment, and now they know that they're having problems, and it's just
the
like,
neighbor saw, oh God,
Yeah.
Bob and Jill are having issues. That is so awkward.
Yeah.
That entire situation could have been avoided by just refraining from saying shit.
yeah. Or maybe him taking in your video and then let's handle this in a way of like, hey, these things have been on my mind, or I watched something,
Let's
I
have
read something.
conversation.
I really would like to talk about this.
Yeah.
But I have come to realize like marriages that nowadays are so much more transactional than they are actually like emotional.
Yes.
It's like,
What can you do for me?
right. So
What the fuck?
I'm not surprised people aren't having these
Well,
conversations.
I'm not either. I'm not. Or I love the on her FYP, please. Help where this lands.
So all I do is I just, yeah, people are like, it'd be really nice if women actually saw these videos. I'm like, well, that was kind of the point.
Yeah. The demographic isn't correct.
No, but also it's like, of course, men are going to be the ones that are probably going to comment
Yes.
as in like as they do.
Yes.
And so I think that naturally ends up just pushing it to the
does.
male feed.
But the ones that I love the most, and these don't happen often, but when they do, it makes me so happy. When the husband will say, I love your videos. I send them to my wife. She
Yes.
loves you too.
Yes.
She finds you. I love you.
I have this one. Speaking of preaching, this is actually funny. I have this guy whose name is Pastor. I won't say the full name. Whatever. Yeah. It's like he is always commenting, and he's like, my wife and I actually sat down. Like he would comment and then he sent me a DM.
That gave me chills.
Yes, and he was like, I feel like I need to introduce myself because I've been commenting. And he was like, my wife and I actually sat down and have watched some of your videos together and have talked about it. And he was like, you would be like, he was like, I want to thank you because you have opened the door for us to communicate about these things. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus. This is what I wanted.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
This was the purpose, not for men to be dreaming that I'm their wife,
No.
not for women to be mad at their husbands.
No.
And like those messages, those comments are why I post every single day about
too.
it, because I'm like, wow, this actually
makes a
is
difference. in
making a
someone's life.
difference.
Yeah.
And like we said earlier in this, and even if it for some reason isn't, even though I feel like it is, it's definitely making a difference in mine.
I agree. I feel the same way because there's so many times where I've gotten DMs from guys just by themselves.
Yes.
And say, I really want to tell you thank you. You don't even know me. And I told my wife, blah, 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 what you said in this video. And we had a conversation and we hashed it out and we fixed this.
Yeah. Yep.
What? I'm not a professional.
No.
Know that. Neither of us are.
No, God, no.
Jesus, we're just talking.
Well, and that's the next thing is like, you should have a seminar.
Oh my God,
you
I
should
know.
do this and
I'm like,
that. I'm
no
like,
one would come.
there'd be like women outside, picket. It's like,
I actually had a
picket.
buddy tell me, he said, I really think that you should have a conference and invite women, like-minded women to talk.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I would shit my pants because I can't public speak.
See, now I love me a good public speaking thing, which is hilarious because I was kind of nervous for this. Even Kyler was like, this is not you. And I'm like, I think it's because this is my first time I've ever done anything with a podcast. I'm like, it's just different.
Yeah, it is different. It's weird.
But put me on a stage. I'll talk.
No.
I've talked in front of like a couple hundred people
I would
before.
poop my pants. Like when people say,
It's like, nope, out.
when people say, oh my God, I only had 200 people see my video. Bitch, can you talk to those people in real life?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
It is.
That is a lot of people. When it hits anything over 10, I'm like, that's a lot of people.
Like, because I started to think about it, like I visualize like an arena or, you know, a room that I can think of that I know can fit so many people. And I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, when I hit, what was it? I think I was at like 70,000 followers.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Are you really? Girl, that's a lot.
And from
Yeah, you were at 50.
yeah.
Oh, that's
I know.
amazing.
Touch your husband.
I know. Just grab them. But 70,000 people, that's an entire football stadium. And then when I hit 100, I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
It's a weird feeling.
It is, because it's like that many people want to hear me yap. Excuse me.
I'm like, see, I was born to yap for a reason.
Because then you have to think about Instagram too. That popped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
My girl
I don't know
finally
how that happened.
got me to do it.
I know. And I told you, I'm like, just stay consistent. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how when people say, how do you really know who you're marrying?
Oh.
You know, because
And I can
do you
relate.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So tell me.
I think there's I actually
Were
I
there
can
any
relate.
red
I can relate
flags?
to that.
You know what I mean?
So I do think time is a huge one.
Yep.
I mean, and it's hard because it doesn't go for everyone. I know people that have known each other for a couple of months and have the most successful marriage ever. And I know people, but I feel like the large majority, the longer you can even be friends and date without that pressure, and you're
gauging them.
yeah. And I think for me, and actually I have my previous marriage, I had already had my oldest daughter at the time, and I was 19 years old. You know, there was a lot of different areas of pressure at that point. You know, the baby daddy wasn't in the picture. Here I am, a 19-year-old girl. I have a baby. And in my world of things, growing up in a pretty Christian household, you know, traditional, you definitely don't have a baby outside of marriage.
No.
Especially being raised Southern Baptist.
No.
Yeah. You don't even look at a man.
You definitely don't touch no woman.
Whew. And so,
But you did.
yeah, I sure did. We sure did. So with that pressure, I was in the kind of the headset of like, I need to find a husband to kind of right my wrong, if that makes sense. It wasn't necessarily the full intention, but like, I think that was part of the weight in the back of my mind. And,
You're also 19.
yeah, yet again, frontal lobe,
Not developed.
And at this point too, though, my I hate using the word baby daddy, but it is what it is. The baby daddy, any man that kind of was coming into my life at that point looked like
Yeah.
gold. And unfortunately,
Bar was set that low.
unfortunately, the one that walked into my life, I didn't realize it at the time, but he wanted. How do I explain this? I was the new girl in town.
Oh, you were new meat.
Basically, and I realized he was all show. He knew how to put on the front. He had the house. He had the cars. He had the job. He had the boat. On the outside, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is everything opposite. He will, and he said the right things. He did the right things. He showed up with the flowers. You know what I mean? It was,
So he was narcissistic?
yeah. Great. Preacher. Perfect.
Never met him.
There you go. And basically, it turned into, after 6 months of dating, I had a ring on my finger. We were married, actually, I think it was a week after what would have been like our 1 year dating anniversary. Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was quick.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of our time was spent without Cassidy around because my grandparents, we were living with them at the time, and they were like, you know, you need a date, you need it, which was wonderful of them.
Absolutely.
So there was a lot. And then basically once we got married, he's like, oh, I got my prize. Have fun.
Are you serious?
And yeah. And so it's,
How long were you married?
well, unfortunately, it got to the point because I very much believed in my vows. I wanted to be married. I also,
Unfortunately, I believed in my vows.
did you say that? Oh my gosh, that's not what I meant. But that was terrible.
Right now, I believe in them. Back then, I didn't.
Believe. Ooh. Well, yeah.
Oh my god,
That's so funny. That's not what I meant. I know. Maybe unfortunately for that situation, I should not have. I was believing his vows.
Yeah.
That's maybe what I should have said.
Unfortunately.
But it got to the point once we got married and he realized I wasn't just going to be his trophy wife. That he put me at the time, and that I actually wanted a husband who came home and was with me and, you know, actually be a marriage.
Yeah. Be emotionally involved.
Yeah, it turned into the point of he started doing everything he could to make me be the one to leave.
Oh.
And he also realized, because obviously at that point, Cass and I, we moved in with him once we were married.
You did?
Yeah, shocker.
Weird.
And that
so
was when, but that's, you know, crazy to think about. We got married and moved in together. Actually, it is kind of weird though, because most people don't wait till they're married to move in.
Zach and I were 2 months in. So.
But, and that that's that could be a whole nother topic. With children though,
Yeah. No.
obviously that's why.
Yes.
But the hard part is he didn't realize what it took to be a dad until it got to that point.
Yeah, true, because he didn't have to.
So basically he looked around one day. This is how I'm picturing it. And he was like, oh shit, what did I do? I don't want to have a kid. I don't want to be married. At least I don't want to be the husband she wants me to be.
Yeah.
I wanted to have my cake and eat it too. And unfortunately it got to the point of physical abuse. And that's where Cassidy witnessed it. And I was done. And I was like, I'm going to have to be the one to do the divorce card because when it comes to my child,
Yeah, no.
heck no. Should I have probably left before it got to that point? Yes, looking back. But also, I know without a doubt that I did everything that I could to try to make it work.
Of course.
But that's where, you know, and then with Kyler, we dated for, like 4, almost 5 years, I think, which is so funny because like roles reversed. It should have been like Kyler and I getting married, you know, in my head, like thinking back, like he's the most amazing man in the world. But had we not waited that long, we would never been married still. Because I was healing. And I had to heal before I had a ring on my finger. 'Cause if I didn't, this marriage would be so different.
100% agreed.
So different.
We dated 4 years before he proposed. We were together 5 when we got married. And people ask me, why didn't he propose long before? We weren't ready.
No, it wouldn't have made sense. On the outside looking in, 100%, probably.
Yep.
But no.
I had a lot of shit I had to heal from.
Yeah.
A lot of shit.
Yep.
And I had to change in order to be a wife.
Exactly.
There's no way I would have been a good wife.
And see, and that's the thing. And I feel like people nowadays are like, accept me for who I am. And this is, and it's like, to a degree, sure. There's some things that you accept about a person, maybe some quirks or whatever,
Right.
but like emotional.
The way they blow their nose. That's just the way they blow their nose. But if they're going to be crazy or manipulative or anything of that. No.
Because a lot of your past traumas don't start coming out until either like you're in a safe place or something about that person is pulling them out of you, whether that's good or bad.
Yep.
And I mean, I will say my husband is my saving grace.
Same.
And thank the Lord that man stuck with me through those years. Like, thank the Lord.
Yep.
Because I would not be in this chair.
That shit makes me emotional.
I know, you're making me emotional.
Sorry.
And I don't get emotional. Like, oh my God, am I going to cry?
I'm going to.
Actually, the TikTok that I did about like telling a little bit about my life, and I said something about like Tyler, if it wasn't for my husband, I remember like looking in the camera and being like, oh my gosh, there's tears falling up in these eyes.
Yep.
Like, wow.
Yeah. It's, I probably won't be able to look at you because I'll cry.
I'll look over here.
If I hadn't met Zach when I did, I would be fucked.
Oh, yep.
I have no idea what my life would have been if I hadn't met him because
Yep.
I would have been screwed.
Yeah.
Because looking back at the man that I was dating before him and the man that I was dating before him, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Totally night and day difference.
And like you look at yourself and you're like, who was that person? Like, how did I think I deserved that?
I
Or
know.
like, how did I allow myself to be in those situations?
I know. And there's still moments where we'll have a conversation about something, not like an argument, but just a conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel myself going back into survival mode because I'm scared, because I'm like, oh shit, he's going to react this way. He's not going to react like that.
Yeah.
He wants what's best for me.
Exactly.
He doesn't want me to feel like that. And I feel that, and then it immediately goes away. I'm like, Chelsea, why did you think that?
Yeah.
But that is how your body holds on to that kind of
Survival
stuff.
mode.
Survival mode
Fight or
is
flight.
such a thing. And people ask, how long did it take for me to heal? It took me like 6 years to get
Yes.
over certain traumas. I'm still
I was gonna say,
not over.
and I don't think anyone, and when you go through certain things, is ever fully healed. I just
You're
feel
never
like
going
you
to.
are
More
better
callous.
equipped. Yeah, you're more calloused. Definitely.
I think you're more of a passive, like I'm not allowing it to hurt me anymore. Which back then I would have folded like a lawn chair.
Oh, yeah.
But now I'm like, okay.
But and I think that also too is I live because of the things that I know when Kyler and I first started together, when I was healing and how much I hurt him through my healing,
Oh my God, yes.
that
Yes.
I live every day now. Not like, I don't like to say like I'm making up for it, because
I know what you
that's not the right word.
I know what you mean.
And I know my husband has no expectations of you need to do this for me because of what you put me through. Because that man doesn't act like I put him through anything. Even glad he's a delusional.
No, I know. I know.
But no, it's Delulu. No, it's just like, no, truthfully, it's like I'm just so like, this man loves me so much. Actually, like, it's not delusion. It's just pure love.
I know.
That I'm like, I mean,
Strangers could see it.
he had his own family members at one point actually were like, you need to leave this girl. And long story short, I ended up actually doing an inpatient stay because my mental health was so deteriorating, and everything before Tyler was my safe space. It like all came up, years of pain.
How long were you together when this happened?
Not even a year.
Oh, okay. So it was, dude, our first year was rough. Too.
When I tell people, I think the beginning of our relationship was the worst times of our relationship.
Yes.
That's why people are like, just give it time. I'm like, no.
They're like, motherfucker, do you know what happens with time? We marinate and it gets real good. Because what happens when you marinate a steak, it gets better.
yeah. And I'm like,
When you let wine sit there for a long time, what happens? It gets better.
yep.
It's like your relationship. It's not going to spoil if you don't let it.
Right. Amen.
The wine bottle ain't open. It's shut.
Yep.
It's getting better with age.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just like, Yeah, crazy.
I'm really glad that he was there for all of that because
Me too. He said to this day, and it's crazy because he is the type of person that would take everything, his family says to heart. And he was like, the day that we had that conversation, and it was kind of brought up, and honestly, we weren't even a year into our relationship, maybe 6, 7, 8 months. Needless to say, it was fresh enough to where most people in that scenario might be like,
Yep.
you need to heal yourself. Hit me up later.
Yeah.
Block number. But Kyler was like,
man, we are similar stories, dude.
I was like, God, I just knew. I knew the moment I met you, you were going to be my wife. I chose you. And it didn't.
Everything.
For everything. And he's like, and it didn't matter.
Yep.
And part of me is like, oh, I wish you had there was sometimes you should have had more self-respect. Because Lord, I am so sorry. But also that's love. Not saying you put people through things, but he literally took me for all the good and all the bad.
He saw so much value in you.
And he did. That's where he has breathed that into me to now I believe it again.
Isn't that weird?
And now I can be the wife he needs me to be.
Yep.
He needs me to be, wants me to be, hopes I am. And I can be that for him. And that's where
We're so similar.
good for us.
Is it though?
No. Bad for y'all. Good for us. But that's where, when we get the hate, oh, we're being abused that we're making these sandwiches or we're home. Back to the oppression again.
Choice, dude.
It's y'all don't know what this man has done for me. This sandwich is the least I can do.
Oh my God, I'd make 100 in a minute.
Yes.
I will make you whatever the fuck if you want some filet mignon. Okay.
And
sure.
And I love it though because of all the hate we get for that type of sandwich we make.
God, bitch, that man asks for that. Do you think I want to make that? No, I want to make him a gourmet.
Right, to me, making you a bologna sandwich. I know I can do better. But this is what he wants.
I literally every week. What do you want for lunch this week, sweetheart? What do you think I want for lunch this week?
Exactly.
Okay.
I know. And I'll tell them, I'm serious. I'll make you anything. It's almost they're they just, because they feel that's the other thing about them. They're so sweet. They're they don't want to put us out.
And I'm it's not. No. I enjoy cooking.
Yeah.
And I want you to have a meal. But the thing is he also says, it's too hot to eat, which I get.
Yes.
He doesn't have time.
I'll say, and half the time, sometimes the sandwich comes home.
Yeah.
Or he's eating it on the way home or whatever. And he's
God.
I don't want to waste a whole fancy meal.
So then I'm going to put the sandwich back in the refrigerator and it's tomorrow's sandwich.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Also, I have learned, thankful for this girl on TikTok. Shout out to you. I don't remember your name, but this girl changed my life, as dumb as this sounds.
Oh, I need to hear this.
It's about a sandwich.
I was choked.
She was watching one of my videos of me making his lunch. She goes, hey, from a blue collar girl, I just want to give you a tip about your mustard. And I'm like, okay, tell me more.
Okay.
So before I was doing bread, mustard, cheese, meat, lettuce.
I already know what she's going to say. I'm thinking. You tell me.
Bread, cheese, mustard, cheese.
Yep.
Meat.
So the mustard doesn't soggy up the bread. Love her.
I love you. See, constructive criticism like that, tell me that shit.
That is not nasty girl. That's girls having each other's back.
Yeah.
And
that's a woman's girl.
That's a woman's girl.
I am not a girl's girl because a lot of girls are mean.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yep. My girl circle's small.
Uh-huh. And I'm not friends with many girls because girls are bitches. But that girl, yes. Please.
She's allowed. She can be in the club.
She can be in the club.
You in the club, girl.
We're all so funny.
We got to find her.
So let's talk about Kyler and his job.
Yeah.
Working on the farm.
Yes.
It's a family farm, I'm assuming.
Yes. Family farm. Oh, gosh. I don't even know what acreages are at now. I know it's over 3,000. It's his dad, his uncle, him, and then there's another hired guy.
just those
Yeah.
for 3,000.
Yeah. Crazy. Insanity. And like I said, technically Kyler's not even there full time.
Yeah, true.
And
So does he do part-time for both?
for the most part, well, I would say he's a little more full time for the county and then picks up on the farm around those hours, if
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense. But
A planting season for sure.
yeah, planting, harvest. We gotta love it. And that's also why we knew being a stay-at-home mom is
I'm sure
what's
you get
needed.
Lots of pushback for that too.
Oh yeah, your husband works all these hours because you sit at home. You know, your husband has to do both jobs because you're lazy. I'm like, y'all, don't get it. Don't even get it.
God.
Those are the comments I usually just actually scroll by because
Yeah.
I'm like, you've already made your opinion of me.
Yep.
What am
From
I?
the 30-second video you saw on the internet, you know everything about Alyssa.
Right. Gotta
You
love
know
it.
all of the things. The first thing I saw was, oh my God, I love this girl. She's so cute. That was my first thought.
So sweet.
You know, whatever. What do I know?
Yeah. What? Yeah. Wrong. No.
So tell me about like the struggles. Granted, I know because I grew up on a
Well, and that's the thing is, and like I also said earlier in this podcast, farming, like a farm boy, was not it for me.
Yeah.
I actually, my parents were born and raised where we now live. When they were pregnant, they moved to the Outer Banks, North Carolina. When they were pregnant with me, my dad wanted to expand the farm from Michigan to North Carolina. Yes.
holy shit.
And he did. He picked up about, I think, gosh, at that time he had like maybe, I know it was over like 2,000 acres.
Oh my.
And so it's kind of cool. I grew up getting the best of both worlds for a little bit. Farming life, which now the farm was about an hour inland because the Outer Banks is right on the ocean on the East Coast. Right. Yeah. The Outer Banks is, where the Outer Banks is. Oh my gosh. And yeah, right. And so, yeah, my mom was like, if you are moving me here, I am getting a house on the beach. You can drive to the farm.
Good for your mom.
Yeah, I'm like, perfect.
I've always wanted to go to Outer Banks.
Well, let's go.
Okay.
We road tripping.
I'm not going to say no.
Oh my gosh.
I need a vacation.
Oh, that's such a blessing that my parents still live there.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, we're heading there in a couple weeks. So it's like, oh, yeah, a vacation technically in one and seeing my family.
And hopefully warmer weather.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever's going on outside right now.
It is fall. Did you know that?
Yep, it is. If you didn't realize, we got our 2 days of summer and now we're back to fall. Oh my gosh. But so basically I grew up with the farming with my dad, and then too many hurricanes. He was like, this just isn't it. So he ended up getting out of farming, but I have my grandparents up here, my uncles that farmed, and it kind of got instilled in my head after once I got into like the dating realm of things. And I remember my mom always being like, being with a farmer is not for the weak.
No, it's not.
I'm like, you are correct. And I mean, I remember one year you can be a millionaire, and the next year you're eating
Ice
bread
cubes.
and butter. Like literally, like seriously,
Yeah.
it is crazy. It's a lifestyle that I don't know how you don't have any type of faith. You have to.
You have to.
You
have to pray for rain.
Truthfully,
Literally.
the amount of prayers that are getting sent up for the dang farm is unheard of. And yeah, it's a lifestyle that is unknown, but it can also be
Roll of the dice.
yeah, but it can also be a lifestyle that can be so rewarding too.
Very fulfilling.
Yes.
Yeah. You're growing so much and
And it's hard. It's hard, and obviously it's something I can't escape.
No.
but I don't want to. To me, I'm like, okay, I think this is it. This is what my life is.
And it's funny you say that because somebody made a comment on my Instagram. That life sounds horrible.
Oh yeah.
And it was me talking about It was one of those like POV, Zach goes to work, he
Oh,
comes home
gosh,
and
yeah.
it's late kind of thing. That just sounds absolutely horrible. How could you be happy about that, sir? And I made him, I was very nice. I was very nice in this comment, but it just made me like pause, because wouldn't you rather be happy about the life that you are living instead of being resentful over something that isn't your reality?
Right.
And I could sit here and think, oh my God, my husband works 9 to 5 and he comes home every day at 5 o'clock. No, I'm going to be happy with what God has given me as my life, because there's a reason I'm with this man.
Exactly.
There's a reason I'm in this room having this podcast with you, talking to whoever the hell is talking or listening.
Yes.
What the fuck? I don't understand that, because you should be happy with what your life is instead of just being pissy that you don't have what other people have. 'Cause
Exactly.
comparison is the thief of joy.
And imagine that one negative person isn't even speaking for all the 100 other people that are praying for what you have.
Correct. And you don't realize how many people are praying for what you have. I can't even imagine how many people are praying for what I have, what you have. That sounds bad, but it's probably a reality.
Yep.
Which makes me sad in its own way, because you should work on your own life and
Exactly.
make yourself
Spend
better.
a little less time commenting hate and
Yes.
do some internal work.
Look inward.
Please.
Let's look inward. That might help.
Yes, it might a little bit. But I think though, the biggest something about farmers, I think it's just obviously, like, it's just their work ethic, but it's truly, when people say like the farm is in their blood,
It is.
like it is.
It's to be.
And
It has to
it's
be their identity.
it really is. But it's like something about that though is so like, I don't know. I love it.
It's prideful too.
It is, which can be also their biggest downfall.
Correct.
Too. But for the most part though,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. I feel like seeing your man with that type of like love and that drive, but that also I feel like is their purpose. Like
It
that's,
is.
and as we've talked about, and we do talk about, men I think all humans do.
Yeah.
But especially when it comes to men and their like identity with their
provide.
job and providing.
Yes.
And I think even more so, like, especially with farming, you're not just providing a physical check for your family.
Correct.
You're literally providing for the whole world.
You are.
Of course, that's the wrong person, and they think it comes in the grocery store.
Of course it does.
But
Romaine grows at Walmart. Don't you know?
yeah, yep, right behind aisle 13. Like, that stuff drives me nuts.
Oh my God, me too. Or, it also goes off with like people say, why do you talk so highly of your husband?
What else would you want me to say? Which but that's also, and I think why we keep girls, why our girl group circle is small. Because I'm not going to hang out with a bunch of women that all they do is talk
Negative.
about
No.
their man.
No.
It's, I don't even know why you would want to.
No.
Like, even if you had, I've been in that situation with my
me
previous
too.
marriage. I think
bad, but-
I probably smoke.
You do?
I
smoke a lot.
I was on a lot of drugs during that marriage. No, just kidding. I didn't smoke anything. Maybe he did. I don't know. But I don't even remember what I was saying with that.
Negative.
I know I was going to say spoke.
Negative people in your marriage. You had negative people that you were around.
Oh, it's just, I feel like even if like I were, or when I was in a negative marriage, I wasn't even speaking the things I
Yes.
probably should have been. Or he would deserve, which
yeah.
sounds terrible, but also it's reality. Oh my Lord.
In that whole section because that was hilarious.
Great. Oh my gosh.
It's true though, because the people that you're surrounding yourself with, eventually you turn into. Because you think about The people you hang out with, I saw a thing that said you are bits and pieces of the 3 or 5
absolutely.
people that you hang out with.
Or even like slang words, like not even like, because I've noticed just the amount. Oh my gosh! I think the other day I said "bruh" because
Yes, say it.
Yes, and I'm just like, oh no. It's like you don't realize what you are absorbing.
Think about having an accent.
Yes, mine has changed.
You get an accent when you
Yes.
move south.
Yep.
Why? Because you're around those people. It seeps into you.
Yes. Like when I
You
come back
become that.
from the Outer Banks in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna be saying y'all a lot more than I used to a ton. Now it's subsided. And now I'm saying pop. What is happening? I don't like that.
Do they say soda?
Oh yeah. I don't even know pop.
I love saying that down
Soda.
south. They're like, huh?
Yeah. It's happened. I've converted.
When people say to me, you use your husband's job as your entire identity and it's so gag worthy. I'm proud of him.
I'm so proud of my husband. We literally kind of do scream it from the rooftop.
We do.
In our 21st century way.
Baby phone, not
Yes.
in front of anybody. I would say it in front of people. I'd be afraid to say anything else. I'd poop my pants, but yeah. Dude, I cannot talk in front of people.
No, but
I'm so fucking proud. There's
because if you think about it, you're around a bunch of miserable women who aren't happy at home, aren't happy with their spouses. That's just opening the door.
It is.
For problems.
It is.
Wandering eyes. They aren't probably going to be the person that's going to say, hey, you know what? Go home tonight. Talk to your husband. Yeah. People gonna hate me. I love it. Touch your husband. Just touch him. Oh, the amount of people that some of my friends that follow me touch my husband today.
Good. As you should.
Thank you.
Initiate it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was the one that I did about touch your husband, put on the lingerie.
Did that make you uncomfortable?
I think I texted you. I was like,
did.
was that too much?
Hell no, girl, say it.
Like, but it's the truth.
It is.
Like-
You're an adult that's married, it's okay.
Right.
Talk about some nasty shit on the internet. Talk about touching your husband with lingerie on.
Right.
It's fine.
Exactly.
Where did that accent come from?
I know. We don't. We just went south.
We went somewhere.
But, oh my gosh, yeah.
People don't get it. I think people think that they have this little Delulu world where everybody's miserable and everybody's faking it being happy.
Oh, and that's exactly what it is. What we have definitely is not real.
It's fake.
It's all fake. It's for clout.
This is the
It's for views.
Yep.
It's for likes.
It's
like
satire.
the crazy thing is you and I were talking about this stuff when we did have 5, 10 views,
Yep.
100 followers.
Yep.
The thing is we keep speaking our truth,
Yeah.
and that's the only reason why we're growing.
Exactly.
And people are either on board with it or they're
Yep.
not.
And that's
And that is fine.
if you don't like me, block me. It costs nothing.
Exactly.
And it's not going to make me lose sleep.
Right.
I don't know you exist.
Yeah.
I don't know your name. So one of the things I do want to talk about, because Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is coming up next month.
Yes, it is.
I do want to talk about that because I know men don't get the voice that they deserve
No, they do not.
because women weaponize everything. Most. I'm not
Heaven,
saying all.
heaven forbid a man drop a tear.
Oh my God. I just don't think it's talked about enough. And I know people probably get sick of me saying the same stuff over and over again, but I also heard a thing that you have to hear it 100 times in order for it to make sense.
Yeah.
One time. So I really think we need to have conversations with men. Not you. I'm not saying this
Yeah.
to you, but I'm saying this to the world listening.
Well, and I think that's a lot of our platform is basically men matter.
They do. They do. And they have a role for a reason. There's purposes for men.
Yes.
They're there to provide. They're there
Yes.
to protect. And we should also protect them.
Yes. And they were made the way they are for those reasons.
Correct. I think that there's such a huge disconnect between men and women emotionally. Granted, women are emotional, men are logical.
Yes. But thank
there
God.
no shit.
Thank God.
No shit. I cannot even imagine. But there should be a safe space for your husband or your boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And it
And I
Those
think
comments
that's
piss me
where
off, too.
women have to be intentional about that. Because us going up to our husbands in crying or being open or being emotional is normal for us.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Yes.
That's how we're wired.
Yep.
We don't have to think twice about it. And I would say, especially even more so, I feel like when it comes to, in particular, blue collar men, they have to uphold this. I'm strong. I'm just going to rub some dirt. And it actually took, I think me physically being like, lay down on my lap. I'm going to hold you.
Yep.
Creating that safe space for your husband to be like, oh, I can do this.
Yep.
I think allowing them to not have to ask for it.
Yeah. Because they're not going to.
They're not going to.
They're not going to.
And they are going to let it simmer, and they just dwell on it and they push it down.
A watch pot never boils. So just let it be.
Yep.
You're right, though, because there have been instances, I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but there have been instances where I know Zach was going through it.
You can see it on their face. How they get out of the truck.
How they walk up to the porch. How they open the door. How they shut the door. How they take their boots off.
Yeah, you just know.
You do, because you're also reading them. At least you should be.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
He sits at the kitchen table and his hands are just on his head. Okay.
That's when you were like, it's time to step up.
Yep. You're that safe space for me. I have to be that for you.
Yes.
That's a done deal. I'm going to go up to you, scratch your neck because he loves that shit. And I need you to just look at me. Oh, that's when it's over.
Yeah.
Eye contact, because he, one, can't look at me without smiling.
Yeah.
And two, he knows I want to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm not going to sit here and be like, you have to fucking tell me what's wrong.
Right. That at least opens the door for them to be like, to take that next step.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it took 2 hours of me looking at him. That sounds dumb, but
No.
that's what it was. And it was a mess. He had so much on his mind, and it broke my heart because I couldn't help anything. I was just listening.
Right.
That's the other thing, is listening to just listen.
Because a lot of times men aren't really looking for an answer.
No, because they have the answer.
They do, and they're going to figure it out. Not saying they don't need our help in the process, but they are working. A lot of times I think they just need to speak it out loud.
I think they already know.
Yeah.
Men, Zach has told me, he said, because we were talking about mental health for his job, because they have a safety meeting every single year, and they have I'm going to say it wrong, a psychologist or a psychiatrist or psychologist. I don't know the difference.
Psychiatrist monitors usually medication.
Okay, so the other one.
Psychologist.
The one that that she talks to you.
I might have this backwards.
Yeah.
Either
One of
way.
those people, mental people.
Mental people.
Mental health awareness people. Therapist? Sure.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. A therapist comes in and talks and says, if you need to talk to somebody,
It's awesome they provide that.
oh, it's great. And they pay for it. It's awesome. Zach has told me, and he came home from that safety meeting and he said, I asked him, I said, have you ever wanted a therapist? And he goes, no.
Right.
And I said, well, why? I'm not, I'm whatever you want to do, dude. Because I work through shit myself. And I said, well, is that healthy? He goes, for some people, probably not. But for me, I can handle it because I have these conversations with myself. I work through these things with myself. If I need help, yeah, I'll get help. But I have never gotten to the point where I haven't felt like I could handle my own shit. Like, fair enough.
Yeah.
And he goes, I feel like a lot of men are in that same boat where people think, oh my God, men need therapy. No, men need to sit there and logically think about what's going on.
Yep.
Think about how can we figure this out? Let's get a solution. This is Zach saying it, by the way, not me, people.
Right. You're like, I'm not speaking for him. These are things that he has said.
I'm not speaking for men.
Yes.
But I think that he's right. And I never thought about it like that because women are so emotional. We have to have somebody to talk to.
Absolutely.
But men, they can compartmentalize a lot more than we can. Every emotion I ever have is like the other night. Oh my God. It was last week. I lost my mind. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize I was in my luteal phase.
Oh, that'll do it.
I was crazy.
Yeah.
I was utterly
Like something's
crazy.
happening.
I was so overstimulated. I had a piece of hair hitting my forehead and I couldn't find it. And it made me cry.
You almost had a Britney Spears moment.
I was so
I'm
upset.
done.
And I worked till 8 p.m. that night. And I started at like 9.
Yeah.
I work for myself. I don't have to do that.
Right.
But I also fucked
But that's what
up.
we do to ourselves.
I know. But I also fucked up and I normally don't work on all of my clients' stuff in one day. I have 8 clients. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know why. But when Zach got home, I looked at him and I could not hold it in. I was a sobbing mess. And he's sitting there. He's like, anything else? I'm like, no. He goes, he just sat there because he knew. He's not stupid.
You
This
weren't
is
looking
not-
for any answers. You weren't looking for any solutions. You just had to get it out.
Yep. And then, but I'm like telling him, I need you to do this for me in this order. Mm-hmm. Okay. It was so, I needed him to just listen to me,
Yeah.
but then I needed a solution. So I'm like, I need you to just listen. And then I need a logical response.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, I realized, oh,
Hex
you're starting
your period.
You're starting your period. There it is. And I walked up to him. I said, I now understand why I was cuckoo bananas, and I'm so sorry.
The funny part is, and Kyler does not ever mean this in like a disrespectful way or anything, like as a jab.
They like forget.
He always knows. He's like, you're gonna start your period. I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, I am.
Yeah. I don't recognize myself when I'm about to start my period.
No, I need a
My
Snickers.
face looks insane.
Need a Snickers. Not
Have
you,
ever
and you're
seen those?
hungry.
Have you ever seen those videos on TikTok of people like luteal phase?
Oh yeah. I've
It's
actually
terrifying.
and I've actually tried to like pay more attention to it because I never really understood the importance of all of that. And
It's so
how much it
important.
makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it is.
It's affect so much shit. And thankfully, Zach was the cutest thing ever. He watched a video. It's like a 25-minute video on women's cycles and
I
how
love when men I love that when they take interest in something they
Yeah.
literally have no root. They don't need to.
No, they don't.
Simply just to better understand.
Yeah. Like, thank you. That was absolutely so precious. And he sent me the YouTube video. He's like, I just watched this. And I'm thinking it's a short or something.
Yeah.
No, it was 25 minutes long.
That's impressive, sir. That's impressive.
I love that.
Yeah.
But just, he was there for me and I'm there for him. And, you know, it has to be a two-way street. Mm-hmm. You have to be there for your husband.
Yes, and that makes me think of two-way street. I would say that's another comment on TikTok that is consistently, well, yeah, I'll touch my husband, blah, 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 blah. If he
does the laundry.
yes, this.
Transactional.
And I'm like, but that's where I'm like, sometimes I'll even like comment back, like this comment's for another video.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I have also commented on women needing to do, or not needing, you know, the opposite of touch your husband. Because yes, there does have to be things in place to get to that point.
Correct.
Obviously, and a lot of people have then commented the other things like, well, clearly her husband is treating her the way she deserves for her to think
love
and do
those
these
comments.
things. And I'm like, yes.
Like, what do you think the steps were for us to get to this point? It didn't just happen fucking overnight.
Right. Like, trust me, my husband's not screaming at me and I'm like, I'm going to go touch him. Like, I'm
gonna go fondle his balls. Okay?
yeah,
like let's be
I'm
real.
just so turned on right now by him treating me like shit.
I love being yelled at. Thank you.
It's like, come on.
Use your fucking common sense. There is none.
No.
Why do you think we're at this point? Because we're happy.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Like, I shouldn't be like, come on.
Delulu, let's be real.
Like, that's the name of the series, of this Delulu. This series.
Should make Kevin name the episode. This is Delulu.
It's just Delulu. Honestly. My gosh.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I ask everybody on my podcast 3 questions. This is a game I got off the TikTok shop called How Deep Will You Go? It's not sexual. Calm down.
Oh, well, then never mind.
So
I'm out.
I'm not touching you.
Yeah. Clearly, you haven't got the gist.
No.
Delulu.
This is Delulu. So level 1 is icebreakers. Level
Okay.
2 is confessions. Level 3 is getting deep. Level
right.
1, we're going to do icebreakers.
Okay.
What's a song you play by yourself but never with other people?
Oh.
That's hard. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I'll ask you a different one.
Okay, because
That
I'm
one's
like,
hard.
I don't know. I play everything.
So
with
do
every-
Oh, I actually have an answer to that.
Let me hear it.
In Color by Jamie Johnson. I can't listen to that song.
You can't listen to it?
Fucking bawl my eyes out around other people.
Understood. I could see that. That emotional level.
Well, it was played at my grandparents' funeral.
That'll do it. Yeah. Nope. That one's a no.
So funny story about that. We were at a bar when I was still intoxicated often. And there was like 9 of us at this bar. And it's one of those like hole in the wall,
Best places.
cheap, like the beer is like $2.50.
Best burger you've ever had in your life.
Amazing bird. There's more than likely AIDS or cocaine on the toilet seat. Like it's
good.
utter chaos. You will always see a fucking fight in the parking lot. It's so entertaining.
Sounds like my type of place.
Oh my God. But they have the best
I'm sure. Always. They always have the best food.
My
Probably
God.
haven't changed the fryer grease in years, but that's fine.
I think
it makes
they
it better.
do. I legit think they do. But we're all sitting around this table and we're all so drunk. But I was a crier when I was drinking beer. I was a fighter when I drank whiskey. And I was mixing the two.
Ooh, we could have gotten some real fun. I'll say that. Yeah, that's definitely a topic for one day. That's in the beginning. That's where Kyler and I had to. I had to really work on myself because as soon as I started drinking, I would black out after like 2-3 drinks.
Oh, I wasn't that bad.
Well, mine was mostly because I was also on medicine.
Oh, yeah.
And Kyler turned into every man I hated.
Oh, yeah. Zach described me as a pool.
My name was Elise.
Oh,
We had a whole name.
you had a name.
Yeah, I got physical.
Yeah.
Like I would try to get like Kyler to like fight me.
Oh, no.
I'd be like punch. I'd be like hit me.
Oh, my God. You were like
Wild.
that.
Yeah. Well, because it was a defense mechanism. Because I'm gonna one up you before you can one up me.
Absolutely.
You know.
Oh, yeah. That's your masculine trait coming out. When you were in our feminine.
Got a
now.
real nice right hook.
Yeah, I punched a stranger. Not a stranger. I knew him.
It's like it just went off. Boom.
I regret that very much.
I'm sure. But hey, you lived.
Yeah.
You learned.
Anyways, we're sitting at this table in this bar. And In Color comes on. And Zach is sitting directly across from me.
He
at this
knew.
massive table. And
He knew.
I'm like, he goes, and our buddy who turned that song on didn't realize it. And he goes, Chelsea, do you want to go outside? I'm like,
Yeah.
so we go outside. I am sobbing.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
What? I'm like, I can't listen to this song. And I told him why. And he goes, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I'm like, dude.
Well, yeah. Why would he?
Why would you? I was so fucking drunk. I'm like, it's okay. It is okay.
It's sad.
What is your biggest pet peeve? This one's fun.
Oh, am I answering the
Yeah.
biggest pet peeve? Okay, I do know that one. When someone says, well, I was going to say, which one am I going to go with? No, just kidding. I would say, I think when someone says they're going to do something and then they don't do it.
Oh my God, me too. That makes me angry.
That bothers me. Even like,
Shows you have no integrity.
Yeah, and to me, it makes me feel like you don't care how I feel. Like it's more or less like, yeah, like for like say for example, I'm just gonna use an example of my husband.
Right.
I don't know. Just
Why wouldn't you?
I love him. I'm going to I'm gonna tell him something bad about him. Like for example, there was a night that I did something with the dishes, and he was like, "Don't worry about that
I'll put them
dish." He was like, "I'll clean it. No big deal. Whatever." He got busy
Yep.
with life. Happens. No big deal.
Does he have ADHD?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know because I'm too busy having ADHD. Just kidding. No, but I ended up. It was a little bit later, and I went back to the sink, and I noticed it was there, and I was like, "Ooh, like,
Yeah.
and like it doesn't." In the realm of things, very
It doesn't
minute,
matter. It
but
does
it was
not
just
matter.
like it was like, "Ooh, you said
Yep.
you were gonna do it."
Oh my God, when you get the whole, oh my God, women have mental loads. Do you don't think men don't?
Oh heck yeah! I don't know how anybody does it
That's insane.
unless you're just cruising through life with no care in the world.
But you ain't.
No.
What's the most humbling experience you've had? This is in confessions.
Most humbling. Honestly, probably judging teen mothers.
Yeah.
Realistically, or
Yeah,
people who have been divorced.
that makes sense.
Because until you go through it,
Yeah.
or even just having kids in general, it is so easy to be like, my kids will never ride in a dirty
Right.
cart in the grocery store.
Right.
Look at them licking on that and all them germs.
Licking.
And I'm like, get in there.
Yep.
Now, like, if I can get through the grocery store, I don't care if you're doing somersaults on top of
Lick
it.
that.
Like,
Make your immunity better.
like, honestly, yeah. But it's, I think,
We survived, didn't we?
yes, drink out of the hose, please.
Yes.
But I think it's a matter of like, and yet again, I think that's why I feel like I'm able to speak on what I speak about now because I've been through those things and
You've had
now
life experience.
life experience. Yeah.
But just wait. You're going to hate your husband in 10 years. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, because it's all going to go downhill. Honeymoon stage over.
Did you hear my stomach?
I was wondering what that was.
My fucking
I was
stomach.
like, is that thunder? Girl, she needs
Wow.
sandwich.
Well, I made some French dip pot roast something.
Oh,
Never made it before. But I had a lot of buns left over. I was like, I'm going to make this in the crock pot.
Tyler's doing that carnivore diet right now.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's actually, gosh, he's down like 15 pounds in, of course, like 7 days. They just stop eating like a side of chips and they lose weight. Like, bruh. Like, bruh.
Fucking carnivore. I did carnivore. That shit is hard. I loved it, but
It's weird because I'm not cooking my normal
yeah.
foods, and now his lunches are like boiled eggs and
Bacon.
yeah. Let me get judged on what I'm packing in for lunch these days.
my God,
Big gulp of air.
Excuse me, your cholesterol's going to be through the roof.
Yeah,
Worry about your own cholesterol, Nancy.
Nancy.
All right, let's wrap this bitch up. Okay. So before we end this episode, is there one piece of advice you would give to the people listening?
I would say this. I would say the one thing that is her stomach growling. She's like, I have to put the mic up here.
She's hungry.
I would say honesty. I know that's crazy sounding, just you have to, from the beginning of your relationships, be honest about your past, about you. When you enter a relationship, I feel like there's some things that you want to maybe not share because of, you meet someone new, you don't want them to think less of you, or, you want to obviously give them your best self. It's all going to come out.
It will.
One way or another.
It will.
And if you are not honest, it does more harm in the long run.
Yes, it does.
When it does come out.
Yep.
Than it would have if you had just been upfront in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And truthfully, just honesty. You have to be honest in your relationships.
100% agree.
And that person is either going to take all of you and love all of you, or if they can't, then that's kind of your answer. Right there.
Exactly. And pay attention to red flags.
Yes.
They're there for a reason.
Yeah. Rose-colored glasses off.
Oh my God. Taking rose-colored glasses off is terrifying. Mm-hmm. But thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you so much.
This
I'm
was
so happy we got to do this.
I know, finally.
Yes.
Finally.
And soon, one day, maybe you'll be on mine.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yes.